Hello, today I will show you how you can create an elbow with socket connections on the end. It can be used for socket weld elbows, for PVC applications, and also for the threaded kind of elbows. As a base, we will use family we created before. Pipe bend, as you can see, it was created from simple shapes, a few elbows and merged cylinders, and now we will use a simple elbow shape and two cylindrical shapes. So, as always, we will start from our favorite sweep form to indicate the first we need to indicate the path. Then I'm going to lock it. And then we will create a profile. That as always will be the round profile or circle. Then we will indicate that it should be equal to the diameter. And here it is. Then I'm going to modify a bit attributes we had here. I'm going to remove R1 because we don't need it anymore. Actually, here we're going to remove LL1 and LL2 because we don't need it, as this kind of form as always will be with the socket connection on the end, so we can easily utilize L2 property and L1. I'm going to adjust it slightly, and now we're going to draft it. And for this one we can simply use revolve tool. So first we need to draft the socket connection from one side, so it will be equal to 2 inches. Then we're going to add a notation of it. And what I will do from the other side, I will add a little bit more to have a slight overlap. Of course, in my case, I'm not following any kind of standard, just a regular shape. And if you have a standard in front of you, just use it. Just use the geometry based on the standard and follow all the dimensions. Then here we need to define the inner radius and the thickness of the socket connection. So here I will add additional attribute, and here I'm going to add additional parameter. Thickness of the socket. So, as we did it before, we're going to add some expressions. In this case it will be very simple expressions, so here it will be equal to half of the diameter, and this particular attribute will be equal to, usually I would say wall thickness multiplied by 2, but in this case we have wall thickness as a text, so we cannot use it for the expression. And then I will use by default, for example, 0.3 inch. And okay, so it always will have those dimensions. Here I can also identify that it will be L1, and basically that's it. Axis I have added already before, or not actually. Okay, no, I did. Yeah, I did edit. Now we can click on OK, and from one side it was created. From different one First of all, we're going to add additional reference plane. And we're going to lock it with the same angle that current elbow has. So it will be 30 degrees. Yeah, this time to time happens. So we can just easily shift it to the location that you would like to have it. And then the next connection also will be done via the revolve tool. First I will start from the axis. And then I'm going to draft the shape of our component. So as it was before, here it also will be equal to 0.25 inch. Then here I'm going to identify that this value should be equal to R, small, then thickness of the socket connection, and of course the length of this connection. That will be equal to L2. Here we already added most of the dimensions, but here still one thing that we need to include, and it will be the angle. We need to make sure that this connection, that this shape always will be perpendicular to the reference plane that we have over here. And for this one, we need to add 1, lock it, 2, lock it, and 3, and lock it. And basically that's it. Now we will add connectors to it. Of course, connectors must be over here. One and first and the second one. It must be equal to the nominal diameter. This connector I will reassign to nominal diameter of the second port. Yeah, so now we are going to link those connectors and ensure that this connector is the primary one. And the final step will be to change the system classification to fitting and add an angle constraint. And basically that's it. Now we can check it if the angle will be working. Yeah, as you see, it works perfectly. And it seems like we shouldn't adjust it anyhow. Yes. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to drop a comment in the section below. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.